There was once a young boy who could name every car that passed by his street. While other children played with toys, he sat by the roadside watching cars. He knew their horsepower, their engine types, their speeds. He could tell you everything about a Mercedes, a BMW, or a Ferrari just by looking at it. But this boy had a problem. He was poor. Very poor. His parents worked hard every single day, but they barely had enough money for food. A car? That was impossible. Even his school fees became too expensive for them to pay. And yet, this boy had a dream, a big dream, a crazy dream. He dreamed of owning a customized Rolls Royce one day. When he told people about his dream, they laughed at him. His neighbors laughed. His friends laughed. Even his own parents shook their heads sadly. "Be realistic," they said. "People like us don't drive Rolls Royces. We don't even drive old cars. Focus on finding a simple job and forget these impossible dreams." But something inside this boy refused to give up. He had faith. Faith that somehow, some way, his dream would come true.
When he turned 15, his parents sat him down. The conversation was painful. "Son," his father said quietly, "we cannot pay for your high school. We're sorry. We've tried everything, but there's no money." The boy's heart broke. But he didn't cry. He didn't complain. Instead, he made a decision. If he couldn't go to school, he would educate himself in a different way. He would learn about the one thing he loved most: cars. The next week, he found a job at a gas station, washing cars. People in his neighborhood mocked him even more now. "Look at the Rolls Royce dreamer," they shouted. "Now he's washing cars for a few coins. What happened to your big dreams?" Their words hurt, but he kept working, he kept learning, and most importantly, he kept believing. Every day, as he washed cars, he studied them. He noticed everything. He saw that wealthy businessmen drove Mercedes and BMWs. He noticed that young couples preferred smaller, stylish cars. He observed that families needed spacious, comfortable vehicles. He talked to the car owners, asking them questions. "Why did you choose this car? What do you like most about it? What problems does it have?" The gas station became his classroom. The cars became his teachers. And slowly, unconsciously, he became an expert. He understood not just the technical details of cars, but something more important. He understood what different people needed and wanted from their cars. But understanding wasn't enough. He needed to take action. So, he made another decision. Every single coin he earned, he saved. He stopped buying snacks. He walked everywhere instead of taking buses. He wore the same old clothes for years. His friends thought he was crazy. "Live a little," they said. "Enjoy your youth." But he had a vision that nobody else could see. 4 years passed. 4 long years of washing cars in the hot sun and cold rain. 4 years of saving every cent. 4 years of people laughing at him. 4 years of doubt, even from his own family. His mother would sometimes say, with sadness in her eyes, "Son, maybe it's time to accept reality. This car dream of yours, maybe it's not meant to be." These words hurt more than any mockery from strangers. But he held on to his faith. He remembered his dream of that Rolls Royce, and he kept going. Finally, after 4 years, he counted his savings. He had just enough money to buy one car. Not a nice car, not even an average car. He could afford only a very old, beaten-down 1985 Toyota Corolla. The paint was faded. The seats were torn. It made strange noises when it moved. When he brought it home, the neighborhood erupted in laughter. "This is your big dream?" they mocked. "This piece of junk? You wasted 4 years of your life for this?" Even his father looked disappointed. "Son," he said quietly, "maybe they're right. Maybe you should sell this and use the money for something more practical." But the young man smiled, because he could see something that nobody else could see. He didn't see an old, broken car. He saw possibility. He saw the first step toward his dream.
The young man had one advantage that nobody knew about. He had an uncle who worked as a mechanic. This uncle was special. He didn't just fix cars. He loved transforming them. He loved taking rough materials, old parts, and forgotten pieces, and creating something beautiful. The young man spent every free moment in his uncle's garage. Together, they worked on that old Toyota Corolla. They fixed the engine, they repaired the seats, they repainted the body. But they didn't just make it work, they made it special. They added custom touches, they made it shine, they gave it personality. His uncle taught him everything: how to replace parts, how to customize details, how to make an ordinary car feel extraordinary. Months passed, and slowly something magical happened. That old, mocked piece of junk became beautiful. It became eye-catching. It became special. People in the neighborhood started to notice. "Wow," they said, "what happened to that old car? It looks amazing."
One day, a neighbor knocked on his door. "Listen," the neighbor said nervously, "I have an important business meeting tomorrow. My car broke down. Could I borrow your car? I'll pay you, of course, just a small amount." The young man's heart raced. This was it. This was the moment. He said yes. The neighbor returned the car the next day, thrilled. "Everyone at the meeting asked me about the car," he said. "It's so unique. Here, take this money. You earned it." It wasn't much money, but it was enough to plant a seed of hope. Soon, another neighbor came, then another. People needed cars for special occasions, weddings, important meetings, romantic dates, and they all wanted to borrow his special, customized car. He rented it out, and he saved every single coin he earned, just like before. He still worked at the gas station. He still washed cars. But now he had a second income, small but growing. His patience was being rewarded. His faith was being proven right. 2 years later, he had saved enough to buy a second car, the same model, another old Toyota Corolla. People shook their heads. "Why buy the same old car?" they asked. "Why not something better?" But he knew what he was doing. He and his uncle transformed the second car, just like the first. Now he had 2 cars to rent. This time, his uncle gave him important advice. "Nephew," he said, "you're doing well, but if you want to grow, you need to be more professional. Make contracts, set clear rules, advertise your service. Treat this like a real business, not just a hobby." The young man listened. He created simple rental agreements. He set professional rates. He started telling more people about his service. He put up a small sign in the neighborhood. "Special cars for rent. Make your event memorable."
The response was incredible. Within just 6 months, he had earned enough to buy a third car. The neighborhood that once mocked him now respected him. The parents who doubted him now felt proud. The dream that seemed impossible was becoming real. But he didn't stop. He didn't become satisfied, because he still remembered that childhood dream of the Rolls Royce. He wasn't there yet.
Years passed. 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. With each car he bought, he learned more. He upgraded gradually. He moved from old Toyotas to newer sedans, then to stylish sports cars, then to luxury brands, then finally to exotic cars, Porsches, Lamborghinis, Bentleys. His reputation grew. He was no longer just the car washer who got lucky. He became known as the man who understood cars and understood people, the man who could match the perfect car to any occasion, the man who turned dreams into reality. Business owners came to him, celebrities came to him, people from other cities came to him. His small neighborhood operation became a successful luxury car rental company. And then, one day, it happened. The moment he had been waiting for since childhood. He walked into a dealership and said 5 words he had dreamed of saying his entire life. "I want to buy a Rolls Royce." Not just any Rolls Royce, a customized one, exactly the way he had imagined it as a poor boy sitting by the roadside, watching cars pass by. When he drove that Rolls Royce through his old neighborhood, people stood in silence. Some cried, some clapped. The ones who had mocked him felt ashamed. The ones who had doubted him felt amazed. His parents, now elderly, stood with tears running down their faces. "We're sorry, we didn't believe in you," his mother whispered. He hugged them. "You gave me something more important than belief. You gave me life. You gave me the strength to believe in myself." That was enough. Today, when people ask him the secret of his success, he always gives the same answer. He says there were 3 keys that unlocked his dream. Faith. I had faith when nobody else did, not even my family. Faith isn't about knowing how something will happen. Faith is about believing it will happen, even when you can't see the way. Patience. I worked for 4 years just to buy 1 old car. Most people would have given up, but I understood that big dreams take time. Every day of washing cars was 1 day closer to my dream. Patience isn't about waiting, it's about working while you wait. Perseverance. I was mocked, doubted, and laughed at. There were days I wanted to quit, days when even I doubted myself, but I kept going. I kept learning, I kept improving. Perseverance isn't about never falling down. It's about getting up every single time you fall. Today, that former car washer owns one of the most successful luxury car rental companies in his country. He employs over 50 people. He owns dozens of exotic cars. And yes, he still has that first 1985 Toyota Corolla, fully restored, displayed proudly in his office. When young people visit him seeking advice, he always tells them the same thing. Your dream might seem impossible. People might laugh at you. Even your own family might doubt you. But if you have faith, patience, and perseverance, you can turn any dream into reality. The question is not whether you can achieve your dream. The question is, are you willing to work for it when nobody believes in you? His story proves that it doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter how poor you are. It doesn't matter how many people doubt you. What matters is that you have a dream, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to make it real. From a poor boy washing cars to a luxury car empire, from mockery to respect, from an impossible dream to an inspiring reality. This is the power of faith, patience, and perseverance. This is proof that your dreams are worth fighting for, no matter what anyone says.